Hi guys, it's Anand from Finance Fix, here to help you make the best of your finances. Wow, what a few weeks it has been. Turbulent, chaotic. Make no mistake guys, we're in uncharted territory here. And whilst I don't underestimate the size of the challenge ahead of us, I'm still, as ever, full of hope, optimism and belief that we will get through this and we will ultimately prevail. And with a stronger community spirit and less polarized than we were before this whole thing began. But in the meantime, whilst we continue to worry about food, toilet roll, I don't understand that one, and hand sanitizers, take a look at how you spend and invest your money as well. This is a great time to be doing so, and here's why. Governments around the world are taking unprecedented measures to help stave off this crisis, help people through it, because they see light at the end of a tunnel. Who knows how long that tunnel's going to be, but there is a tunnel and there is an end. This is why you need to look at where you're spending your money, where you're investing your money. This could be one of the best times ever to make the most of your hard-earned cash, save as much as you can, put as much of it in an investment as you can, because this could be the opportunity you've been looking for to put your hard-earned cash to work for you into the markets. When everyone is fearful, you should be greedy. Someone famous said that. Do I think this pandemic will come to an end because I'm some sort of medical expert? No. But what I do know is that fear in the medium to long term helps no one. It drives agony and it drives more fear and misery. For me, I like to live in a world where I'm hopeful, optimistic and full of belief. And therefore I'm taking time out to look at how I'm spending my money and looking to how I can make those savings work harder for me in my investments. And this is exactly what I think you should be doing. Here's how. Look at 3 simple direct debit payments you make each and every month. Your utility bill, your bill for your mobile phone, your bill for your TV satellite or cable subscription. These are 3 simple direct debits that most of us have, and most of us make them month in, month out without so much as an afterthought. Let's start with the easy one guys, utilities. The chances are you are out of contract. I say that because the vast majority of the population is still on the standard tariff of their provider they started with. And so if you've never switched before, it is very, very easy to do so. All you need is a copy of your latest utility bill, then head over to a website like cheapenergyclub.com. Don't worry about taking notes, the link will be in the description below. Head to cheapenergyclub.com, which is actually a sub-site of Money Saving Expert, the financial guru of financial websites. Head to that site, put in your details, put how much usage you've got, which you'll find on your bill. You'll get step-by-step instructions on how to switch to an alternative provider that could lead to huge savings for you on an annual basis. It's very easy to do. Don't worry about it. Millions of people do it all the time. I switched last year and managed to save £140 a year. Now, you'll expect that from someone like me, but it's not the first time I've switched. It's probably the 7th. And actually, every year I aim to save money on my utilities. I just do a search, see if there's something better out there, and switch over. It's not a big deal. It takes a few minutes of my time, and I'm quids in. Why wouldn't anyone do it? On your mobile phone, it's very easy. Again, take a look at how many minutes you're using every month and how much data you're using every month, and then find out what the allowance is on your current mobile phone contract. Remember, there are 2 ways of overpaying on your mobile phone. One is you are using way more data or minutes than your current contract allows, in which case you're probably paying a premium for that additional amount over and above your allowance. Or number 2, you are underutilizing the allowance in your contract, which means you could probably get a cheaper deal for the amount you are actually using. So it's worthwhile spending a few minutes doing this. Look at your phone. There are settings on your phone that will tell you how much data you've used over the last 30 days. Figure that out, match it up to how much your contract currently says you are permitted to use for free in your current deal. Last but by no means least is your TV satellite or cable subscription. Now, actually, while I didn't mention it before, I'm going to put broadband in that same bucket because these days a lot of providers offer bundled services, and so it can be more cost effective for you to have home phone, home broadband and TV with the same provider. Beware though, that's not always the case and it does depend on your circumstances. I've been through all the variations on these. I've had home phone with one provider, broadband with a second and TV with a third. I've had home phone broadband with one and TV with a second. And then just 4 weeks ago, when I realized I was out of contract on my TV package, I phoned Sky, who I'm with, and managed to get a fantastic deal that encompassed all three services in one. Let me dig into a little bit more detail on that one. I was paying £38 a month, and that was as a result of my last negotiated deal 18 months ago. Coming to the end of that contract, I knew my prices were going to be hiked by 63%. I don't know about you, but a 63% hike on anything frightens the hell out of me, and I wasn't going to just take it lying down. A phone call to Sky was absolutely necessary for me to get a better deal. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Phone calls to Sky are a chore. It takes at least an hour, if not 90 minutes, and that includes being on hold, getting through the first person, talking them through your story and why you phoned. They will then end up transferring you to probably what they call their retentions team or value team. And then you've got to sign up once you've agreed a better deal to the new contract. And that takes a little bit of time in setting up your new arrangement on their end. All in all, it's about 60 to 90 minutes. And I know what some of you are thinking. I haven't got all that time in the middle of a busy day or even at the end of a day. I've got to sort my kids out in the evening. I want to relax after a busy day. Why am I going to spend 60 to 90 minutes on the phone with Sky negotiating a better deal? Well, let me tell you why. That 63% increase, if I could mitigate that, do you know how much that's worth on an hourly basis? About £288 an hour. Oh, I've suddenly piqued your interest, haven't I? £288 an hour. If someone offered me that tomorrow, I'd bite their hand off. Well, I probably wouldn't, but that's only because I'm a vegetarian. That 90-minute call saved me 16% on TV, 10% on broadband, internet and phone, and 17%, I know I said 16 before, but I think it's 17% on my mobile phone contract. So first I tried Sky's online chat option. That process got me a little bit of a discount. It got me about £251 a month, but it still wasn't good enough. So I thought, I'm not having this, I'm going to give them a call. After about 35 minutes on the phone, on hold, it was on loudspeaker most of the time while I got on with the rest of my day, I eventually did get through to someone and ended up negotiating my price down to £32 a month, lower than what I'd had it for the last 18 months. But actually, it wasn't done there. As per usual, Sky representatives try and upsell you their phone and broadband. In this case, Sky was going to save me another 10% on the broadband deal I had with EE. So I jumped at it, took it, and actually it wasn't done there. On mobile phones, I had a fantastic deal with PlusNet, which got me 4 gigs of data, unlimited minutes and text and everything else for £8 a month. And I'm thinking, no one's going to be able to beat that. But what I hadn't considered is another mobile phone contract in my household. Sky saved me another 10% on all of that, actually more than 10%, I think 16% across all of that. And actually, if you take into account the new price I would have been paying for my TV, that's a whopping 48% saving. That's a lot more money in my pocket than in the pockets of the companies that provide these services. All good, no? Now you've saved all that money from part one. What do you do? Where do you invest it? Well, if you're just starting out, firstly, think about an emergency fund. You want to be setting up an emergency fund where you put 3 to 6 months, or you collect 3 to 6 months of your income, so that if the worst should occur and your income dries up, you can still support yourself and your family. That 3 to 6 months includes costs like your mortgage or rent, your utilities, your local council taxes, your groceries, your broadband and your mobile phone. Those are the essentials in my mind. That's what I save up for. That's what my emergency fund covers. Once you've done that, then you start on investing. But actually, that's the old logic. For me, you do both at the same time. You start building up your emergency fund, but over here, you also start investing. You start the sexy stuff as well as doing all the boring stuff. I'm not going to pretend saving up for an emergency fund is dead boring, but it must be done. At the same time, if you want to keep your motivation up, you start investing carefully and smartly at the same time. So all that money you saved, put half of those savings per month into your emergency fund, put the other half into investments. Now, my pick for investments would be a stock and shares ISA or into property. Yes, I did say property, more on that in a bit. Let me deal with the stock and shares ISA first. Some people will say cash ISA. For me, a cash ISA is useless unless you're using it for your emergency fund. It's just going to eat away, inflation will eat away at that money, and it doesn't do anyone any favors. It doesn't help you get wealthier. I'm doing a video soon on what funds to put into your stock and shares ISA. So if you'd like to be notified first, smash that YouTube like button, subscribe to the channel, and get notified first. And also help me with the YouTube algorithms. Do I need a mortgage broker? Do I need a letting agent? Do I need a conveyancer? No, you don't. So don't worry. Here's a secret. There are services out there that are helping to democratize property investment. My favorite of these is called Property Partner. Now I'm going to have to put this into the video. A disclaimer. Nothing in this video constitutes investment advice. You have to do your own research and be comfortable with the risk you are taking. Right. With that out of the way, here goes. With Property Partner, you can invest money into UK property, both residential and commercial, benefit from rental yields and capital growth in lots of properties. They've got a lot on their platform and they're growing all the time. Property Partner puts properties into a structure and then sells shares to individual investors. So you can buy a share in a property, benefit from the rental yield and capital growth of that property, whilst Property Partner manages that property for you. They will handle all the lettings, they will handle all the maintenance, they will handle everything for you. You just sit back and monitor your investment. And by the way, if you ever need some of your cash back again, they've got a secondary market on which you can sell shares in your property to whoever wants to buy it at that time. If you want to automate this, and I do, and I would thoroughly recommend it, to take away temptation from the savings you've made just slipping into normal everyday spending, set up a standing order for half of the amount that you've saved directly into your Property Partner account. Then you can log on to Property Partner regularly and invest that money into the properties that you choose. This way, it's an easy way to become a property investor and benefit from the rental yields and capital growth in the years to come. Now, with all that said and done, let's do some final math. I saved £26 a month from my utility savings, my mobile phone savings, and that of my TV satellite or cable. Of that £26 a month, I'm going to put half of it into an emergency cash fund. That will build up that stockpile, providing relief on a rainy day. I'm going to assume a 0% interest rate on that cash fund, but at least that cash fund is building up for those purposes I said earlier. To keep things simple, I'm going to ignore tax because it can get very complicated and it's dependent on everyone's personal situation. However, I am going to insist that any income or dividends you make from Property Partner are reinvested into those very properties, therefore benefiting from compounding. Now at the moment, on Property Partner, I'm getting a yield of between 3 to 4%. That's 30 or 40 times the current Bank of England base rate. Now, let's assume the midpoint of that yield, 3.5%. That's how much the other 50% of my saving is making. Let's assume a 5-year horizon and your savings remain the same. Remember, that will mean you need to renegotiate those contracts when they come to an end and achieve similar savings. That £26 a month turns into £780 into your emergency fund. Not a lot, I know, but don't forget you started from zero. And £2,644.13 in property investments. This is the power of compound interest and investing smartly. Totaling all that up, you've turned a 90-minute conversation and an online price comparison search for utilities into over £3,000, or precisely £3,424.13. Not something to shake a stick at, eh? I hope you found that useful, guys. If you have, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all again next time.